The sleek, silver spaceship of the Zorgans glided through the dark void of space. Captain Carr stood on the bridge, his four eyes scanning the vast emptiness before him. His antennae twitched with boredom. It had been cycles since they had found anything interesting. "Captain, we're picking up a signal," chirped Zell, the young navigator. Her scales shimmered with excitement as she pointed to her screen. Czar moved closer, his interest piqued. "What kind of signal?" "It's faint, but it seems to be coming from an object floating in space," Zell replied. "Change course," Czar ordered. "Let's check it out." As they approached, a shape began to form in the distance. At first, it looked like space junk, a piece of scrap metal drifting aimlessly. But as they got closer, the Zorgans realized it was much more than that. It's a ship," exclaimed Zell, her eyes wide with wonder. The alien vessel hung motionless against the backdrop of stars. Its hull was scared and pitted, telling tales of long journeys through the cosmos. It was unlike anything the Zorgans had ever seen before. "Scan it," Sar commanded, his curiosity growing. The science officer, Zal, ran the scans. His tentacles danced over the control panel as data flowed in. "Captain, the ship appears to be of unknown origin. It's not from any species we've encountered before." Zar's antennae quivered with excitement. "Any life signs?" Zal shook his head. "None detected. The ship seems to be abandoned." "Prepare a boarding party," Carr decided. "We're going to explore this mystery." Soon, Carr led a team of 5 Zorgans onto the strange ship. They wore their protective suits, unsure of what they might find. As they entered through an airlock, lights flickered to life, responding to their presence. "Primitive," muttered Vex, the engineering expert. "Look at these crude controls." Whoever built this ship was clearly not very advanced. The Zorgans moved through the corridors, their initial excitement fading to disappointment. Everything seemed so basic compared to their own technology. Buttons instead of thought-controlled interfaces, physical screens instead of holographic displays. "What a letdown," Tar sighed. "I expected something more impressive." But as they reached what appeared to be the ship's bridge, things began to change. Zal's scanner started beeping frantically. "Captain, I'm detecting energy readings unlike anything I've ever seen," Zal reported, his voice filled with confusion. Vex approached a console and tried to activate it. Suddenly, the entire room hummed to life. Holographic displays sprang up around them, filling the air with streams of data and star charts. "Impossible," Vex whispered, his earlier disdain replaced by awe. Sar watched as his team scrambled to make sense of what they were seeing. The technology before them was far more advanced than they had initially thought. It was hidden, disguised beneath a facade of simplicity. "Look at this," called Zell from a corner. She had found what looked like a logbook. As she opened it, a holographic figure appeared, a strange, 2-armed creature with fur on top of its head. The figure began to speak in an unknown language. Though the Zorgans couldn't understand the words, they could see the complexity of the ship's systems displayed behind the figure. "This ship," Tar said slowly, "it's not primitive at all. We were wrong." The realization hit them all. This vessel, which they had dismissed as crude, was holding secrets far beyond their understanding. The creatures who built it had masked their true capabilities behind a deceptive exterior. As the Zorgans continued to explore, they found more and more wonders. Engines that could bend space itself, weapons of unimaginable power, and scientific instruments of incredible precision. "Captain," Zal said, his voice filled with a mix of fear and respect, "I think we've stumbled upon something big here. Whoever built this ship, they're not just advanced. They might be one of the most powerful species in the galaxy." Sar nodded, his earlier boredom completely forgotten. They had started this day thinking they'd found a piece of space junk. Instead, they had discovered a treasure trove of technological marvels, and perhaps the first clue to a civilization that could change the fate of the entire galaxy. As the Zorgans looked at each other, A single question hung in the air. Who were these mysterious builders, and where could they be found? The Zorgan exploration team spent hours examining the abandoned human spacecraft. What had started as a routine investigation had turned into the most exciting discovery of their careers. Captain Xar watched as his crew buzzed around the ship, their earlier dismissal of human technology replaced by growing amazement. Vex, the engineering expert, had not left the engine room since they found it. His tentacles moved frantically over the strange machinery, trying to understand its workings. "Captain," he called out, his voice filled with excitement and frustration. "You need to see this." Xar made his way to the engine room, ducking under low-hanging pipes. "What have you found?" "Vex." "This engine," Vex said, pointing to a glowing core, "it doesn't just move the ship through space. I think it can fold space itself." Xar's 4 eyes widened. "Are you sure?" Vex nodded eagerly. "If I'm reading this correctly, this ship can travel faster than anything we've ever seen. It makes our fastest ships look like they're standing still." Meanwhile, Zal, the science officer, was busy in what appeared to be a research lab. Holographic displays showed complex molecules spinning in the air. "Captain," Zal called out as Xar entered, "these humans were doing experiments we can't even begin to understand. Look at this." Zal pointed to a container holding a swirling, silvery liquid. "This substance can change its properties at will. It could be a solid, liquid, or gas, depending on how you program it. Imagine the possibilities." As the Zorgans delved deeper into the ship's secrets, they found more and more wonders. In the medical bay, they discovered devices that could heal injuries in minutes and cure diseases they thought were untreatable. The weapons room held guns that could disintegrate targets without a sound and shields that could withstand the force of a small sun. But it was in the ship's library that they found the most surprising discovery of all. Zell, the young navigator, had been trying to decipher the human language. As she fed more data into the ship's computer, suddenly, the strange symbols began to make sense. "Captain," she yelled, her scales changing color with excitement. "I've done it. I can read their language." The team gathered around as Zell began to translate the ship's logs. The story that unfolded left them all in stunned silence. The humans, it turned out, were not just technologically advanced. They were explorers, driven by an insatiable curiosity about the universe. The logs told of countless worlds visited, of peaceful encounters and narrow escapes. The humans had faced dangers that made the Zorgans shudder, and they had survived, adapting and learning with each challenge. "Listen to this," Zell said, her voice filled with awe. "Day 1000 of our journey. Today we made first contact with the crystal beings of Altair 7. Their way of thinking is so different from ours. It took weeks just to establish basic communication. But we did it. Another piece of the universal puzzle falls into place. What wonders will we discover tomorrow?" Xar felt a chill run down his spine. The humans' thirst for knowledge, their adaptability, their sheer determination. It was unlike anything he had encountered before. "There's more," Zell continued. "The last entry. It's a warning." She paused, her voice trembling slightly. "To any who find this ship, we have encountered a threat beyond our abilities. We've sent our findings back to Earth, but we fear it may not be enough. The darkness is coming. Prepare yourselves." A heavy silence fell over the Zorgan team. The excitement of their discoveries was now tinged with a sense of foreboding. What threat had been so great that even these incredibly advanced humans couldn't face it? As they looked at each other, the Zorgans realized their mission had changed. They had come seeking knowledge, but now they had found a mystery, and perhaps a terrible danger. The humans, these beings they had initially dismissed as primitive, might just hold the key to the safety of the entire galaxy. Xar straightened up, his decision made. "Prepare the ship," he ordered. "We need to find these humans. We need to find Earth." Captain Xar stood on the bridge of the Zorgan ship, his gaze fixed on the stars ahead. The abandoned human vessel was now securely docked to their own, a treasure trove of technology and knowledge they couldn't leave behind. Zell, have you found any clues about Earth's location? Sar asked, his antennae twitching with impatience. The young navigator nodded, her scales shimmering with excitement. Yes, Captain. I've analyzed the ship's navigation data. It seems Earth is in a system they call solar, in the Orion arm of the galaxy. Set a course, Tar ordered. Maximum speed. As the Zorgan ship zoomed through space, the crew continued to study the human vessel. Every day brought new surprises and more questions about these mysterious beings. On the third day of their journey, they encountered another alien ship. It was the Blorgs, a species known for their extensive travels and trade networks. Greetings, Zorgans. The Blorg captain's hologram flickered to life on the bridge. What brings you to this part of space? Czar hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. We're on a mission of discovery. We seek a planet called Earth. The Blorg captain's eyes widened. Earth, home of the humans. Why would you seek them? You know of humans? Czar asked, surprised. The Blorg captain nodded gravely. Oh yes, we know of them. Listen well, Zorgans. Humans are dangerous. They are unpredictable, creative in ways that defy logic. Many have tried to conquer them. All have failed. Czar's crew exchanged worried glances. This was not what they had expected. But surely, Tar argued, a species so advanced must be peaceful. The Blorg laughed, a strange bubbling sound. Peaceful, perhaps, but cross them, and you'll see why the Galactic Council fears them. They call humans deathworlders, beings who evolved on a planet so harsh, it makes them capable of surviving almost anything. As the Blorgs departed, leaving the Zorgans with more questions than answers, Sar felt a mix of fear and curiosity. What kind of beings were these humans? Their journey continued, and they encountered more species who had stories about humans. The Vrex spoke of human diplomats who brokered peace in a war that had lasted centuries. The Quilxians told tales of human traders who had revolutionized galactic commerce with their strange ideas. But it was their encounter with the warlike Cracks that truly opened their eyes to human capabilities. The Cracks ship appeared suddenly, its weapons trained on the Zorgans. Surrender your ship and cargo, the Cracks commander snarled. Sar was about to comply when Vex spoke up. Captain, I think I can use the human ship's weapons to defend us. With Sar's nod, Vex activated the human weapon systems. A beam of energy, unlike anything the Zorgans had ever seen, shot out from the docked human ship. It didn't destroy the Cracks vessel, but instead seemed to disable all its systems. The Cracks commander's hologram reappeared, his fierce demeanor replaced by terror. That was human technology. Are you allied with them? Before Xar could respond, the Cracks ship fled, leaving the Zorgans in stunned silence. By the cosmic winds, Zal whispered, what kind of beings are these humans? As they neared their destination, the Zorgans' anticipation grew. The human ship's logs had mentioned Sol system, with Earth being the third planet from its star. Finally, after weeks of travel, Zell's excited voice rang out. Captain, I found it. A yellow star, with 8 planets orbiting it. The third one matches the description of Earth perfectly. The bridge erupted in cheers. They had done it. They had found the home of humanity. But as they approached the system, their sensors detected something unexpected. The space around Earth was filled with structures, space stations, defense platforms, and ships of various sizes. It's a blockade, Tar realized with a sinking feeling. But who would blockade Earth? And why? As they drew closer, a transmission came through. A stern voice spoke in the human language they had learned from the abandoned ship. Unidentified vessel, you are entering restricted space. State your purpose or be destroyed. Sar looked at his crew, seeing his own mixture of fear and excitement reflected in their faces. This was it, the moment of first contact. Everything they had learned, everything they had discovered, had led to this moment. Taking a deep breath, Sar stepped forward to respond, ready to face whatever challenges these remarkable humans might present. Captain Sar's heart raced as he prepared to respond to the human's stern warning. He cleared his throat and spoke in the human language he had learned from the abandoned ship's database. "This is Captain Tar of the Zorgan exploration vessel. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." There was a long pause. The Zorgan crew held their breath, waiting for a response. Finally, a different voice came through, softer but still cautious. "Zorgan vessel, this is Commander Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Force. Did you say you come in peace?" "Yes," Sar replied, his antennae twitching nervously. "We discovered an abandoned human ship and have come to learn more about your species." Another pause. "Then, you found one of our ships. Which one?" Sar glanced at Zell, who quickly pulled up the information. "It's called the Horizon Explorer." A gasp came through the communication channel. The Horizon Explorer. But that ship was lost over 50 years ago. Excitement bubbled in Sar's voice as he responded. "We have it docked with our ship. It's how we learned about humans and found our way here." The next few hours were a flurry of activity. After careful negotiations, the Zorgans were given permission to approach Earth, escorted by several human ships. As they neared the blue and green planet, the Zorgan crew stared in awe at its beauty. Their ship was directed to a massive space station orbiting Earth. As they docked, Sar couldn't help but notice how the human ships and technology looked far more advanced than the Horizon Explorer they had found. A welcoming committee waited for them in the docking bay. Sar led his crew out, trying to hide his nervousness. The humans were shorter than the Zorgans, with only 2 arms and 2 eyes, but they stood tall and confident. Commander Chen stepped forward. She was a middle-aged woman with short black hair and kind eyes. "Welcome to Earth Space Station Alpha, Captain Carr. We're very interested in hearing about your discovery." Sar nodded, his translator working to convey his words. "We're honored to be here, Commander. We have so many questions about your species." As they walked through the station, both groups asked each other countless questions. The Zorgans were amazed by the diversity among humans, different colors, sizes, and features, all working together seamlessly. They were led to a large conference room with a view of Earth below. As they settled in, a holographic display appeared, showing images of the Horizon Explorer. An older human with gray hair and a beard spoke up. "I'm Dr. James Martinez, lead scientist of our deep space exploration program. The Horizon Explorer was our first attempt at long-distance space travel. We lost contact with it decades ago. We've made significant advancements since then." Sar nodded, understanding dawning. That explains why the technology on the Horizon Explorer seemed both advanced and outdated to us. Commander Chen leaned forward, her expression serious. "Captain Sar, we appreciate your peaceful approach. But I must ask, why did you really come here? Surely not just out of curiosity." Sar hesitated, then decided honesty was the best approach. "We found a warning in the ship's last log entry. It spoke of a great threat, a darkness coming. We came to warn you, and perhaps to seek your help." The room fell silent. The humans exchanged worried glances. Dr. Martinez sighed heavily. "We feared this day would come. Captain, what you've discovered is related to why we have this blockade around Earth. We're not just protecting ourselves, we're protecting the galaxy." Sar and his crew listened intently as the humans explained. They spoke of a cosmic horror they called the Void. An entity had consumed entire civilizations. The Horizon Explorer had encountered it, and the crew had sacrificed themselves to send a warning. Since then, Commander Chen continued, we've been preparing, advancing our technology, building alliances with other species, all in secret. We didn't want to cause a panic. Sar felt a mix of fear and admiration. These humans, whom they had initially dismissed as primitive, were standing as a bastion against a threat to the entire galaxy. As the meeting concluded, Sar realized this was just the beginning. The Zorgans had come seeking knowledge, but they had found so much more. They had found allies, protectors of the galaxy, and perhaps the key to facing the coming darkness. In the days that followed, the Zorgans found themselves immersed in a whirlwind of human culture and technology. Earth's space station Alpha became their temporary home, as both species engaged in an intensive cultural exchange. Tsar and his crew were given a tour of the station's various sections. They marveled at the diversity of human activities. In one area, scientists conducted experiments that pushed the boundaries of physics. In another, artists created stunning holographic displays that told stories of Earth's history. Zell, the young Zorgan navigator, spent hours in the station's library, absorbing information about human history. She was fascinated by the humans' rapid technological progress and their resilience in the face of adversity. "Did you know," Zell excitedly told Tsar one day, "that humans went from their first powered flight to landing on their moon in just 66 years. It's incredible." Vex, the engineering expert, was like a child in a candy store. The humans allowed him to study their latest propulsion systems, which made the technology on the Horizon Explorer look ancient in comparison. "Captain," Vex said, his tentacles waving with excitement, "their current engines don't just fold space, they can create stable wormholes. We could learn so much from them." But it wasn't just the Zorgans who were learning. The humans were equally curious about Zorgan culture and technology. Dr. Martinez spent long hours discussing Zorgan biology with Zal, the science officer. "Your ability to change skin color at will is fascinating," Dr. Martinez said. "It could revolutionize our understanding of cellular manipulation." As the days passed, the initial wariness between the two species melted away, replaced by genuine friendship and mutual respect. The Zorgans were invited to try human food, with appropriate biological safety measures, and they introduced the humans to Zorgan music, which used frequencies beyond human hearing, but could be felt as vibrations through the floor. One evening, Commander Chen invited Tsar to a special event, a simulation of Earth's environments. As they entered the massive holodeck, Tsar found himself standing on a beach, feeling the warmth of the sun and hearing the crash of waves. "This is amazing," Tsar said, his 4 eyes wide with wonder. "It feels so real." Chen smiled. "We use this to help our spaceborne children understand Earth, but it's also a reminder of what we're fighting to protect." As the simulation changed, showing forests, mountains, and bustling cities, Chen explained more about human culture. She told Tsar about their art, their music, their love of storytelling. She spoke of human emotions: love, hope, fear, determination. "It's our emotions that drive us," Chen said. "They're our greatest strength and sometimes our greatest weakness, but they're what make us human." Tsar nodded, beginning to understand. "I see now why you've accomplished so much. Your emotions don't just motivate you, they make you incredibly adaptable." As their cultural exchange continued, both species began to see the potential of working together. The humans' creativity and adaptability complemented the Zorgans' methodical approach and unique biological abilities. In a joint session with both human and Zorgan scientists, Dr. Martinez proposed an idea. "What if we combined our technologies? Zorgan color-changing abilities with our holographic tech could create perfect camouflage. Your space-folding knowledge with our wormhole tech could revolutionize travel." The room buzzed with excitement as more ideas were shared. It was clear that together they could achieve things neither species could do alone. As the session ended, Tsar pulled Commander Chen aside. "I must admit, when we first found the Horizon Explorer, we thought humans were primitive. We were so wrong. Your species is remarkable." Chen smiled. "Thank you, Tsar. But remember, we all have something to learn from each other. That's the beauty of the universe, its diversity." Tsar nodded, feeling a new sense of purpose. They had come to Earth seeking knowledge about a potential threat. They had found not just answers, but allies and friends. As he looked out at the Earth spinning below the station, Sar realized that this cultural exchange was more than just sharing information. It was the beginning of a partnership that could change the fate of the galaxy. Together, humans and Zorgans might just stand a chance against the darkness that was coming. The alarms blared throughout Earth Space Station Alpha, startling both humans and Zorgans alike. Captain Sar rushed to the command center, his antennae twitching with worry. Commander Chen was already there, her face grim as she studied a holographic display. "What's happening?" Sar asked, his translator working overtime to keep up with the rapid human speech around him. Chen turned to him, her eyes filled with concern. "It's the void. We've detected it at the edge of our solar system. It's moving faster than we anticipated." A hologram showed a massive dark cloud creeping towards the inner planets. It seemed to swallow light itself, leaving nothing but emptiness in its wake. Dr. Martinez burst into the room, out of breath. The deep space sensors we placed after losing the Horizon Explorer just sent their final data. The void. It's not just a cloud. It's alive, and it's hungry. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. This wasn't just a threat to Earth or the Zorgans. If unchecked, the void could consume the entire galaxy. "We need to act now," Chen said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. "We've prepared for this, but we never thought it would come so soon." Sar stepped forward. "We stand with you. The Zorgans will do whatever we can to help." Chen nodded gratefully. "Thank you, Sar. We'll need every advantage we can get." Over the next few hours, a plan began to take shape. The humans had developed weapons that could damage the void, but they needed to get close enough to use them effectively. The Zorgans' advanced shielding technology, combined with human wormhole generators, could potentially create a safe pathway through the void. Vex, the Zorgan engineer, worked tirelessly with human scientists to integrate their technologies. "If we modulate the shield frequency to match the void's energy signature," he explained, his tentacles flying over a control panel, "we might be able to pass through undetected." Meanwhile, Zell used her knowledge of space navigation to plot the most efficient course through the void. "We'll need to be quick," she said. "Even with our combined shields, we can't withstand prolonged exposure." As preparations continued, Sar noticed the determination on every face, human and Zorgan alike. Despite their differences, they were united in their resolve to face this threat. Commander Chen addressed the combined crews. "What we're about to attempt is incredibly dangerous. The void has consumed entire civilizations, but we have something they didn't. Unity. Humans and Zorgans working together. Our diversity is our strength." Sar nodded in agreement. "In the short time we've known each other, we've accomplished amazing things. Imagine what we can do in the face of this challenge." As the final preparations were made, a fleet of ships assembled near Earth. Human vessels, sleek and powerful, were joined by the Zorgan ship, now upgraded with the latest human tech. At the center was a massive ship, jointly crewed by humans and Zorgans, carrying the weapon they hoped would destroy the void. Captain Carr stood on the bridge of this ship, Commander Chen by his side. Through the view screen, they could see the void approaching, a wall of darkness that seemed to stretch forever. "Are you ready?" Chen asked, her hand hovering over the launch control. Sar took a deep breath. "As ready as we'll ever be. For the galaxy." "For the galaxy," Chen echoed, and pressed the button. The fleet surged forward, the combined human Zorgan shields glowing as they hit the edge of the void. For a moment, it seemed like they would be swallowed by the darkness. But then, a pathway opened up, a tunnel of light cutting through the black. As they pushed deeper into the void, Sar could feel the ship shuddering under the strain. Warning lights flashed across the control panels, but they pressed on, driven by the knowledge that they were the galaxy's last hope. Finally, they reached the heart of the void. "Now," Chen yelled. Sar activated the weapon, a beam of pure energy, more powerful than anything either species had created before. shot out towards the center of the void. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the darkness began to recede. The void writhed, as if in pain, and started to collapse in on itself. As the light of distant stars began to shine through the dissipating void, cheers erupted throughout the ship. Human and Zorgan alike embraced, celebrating their shared victory. Sar turned to Chen, his eyes shining with emotion. "We did it. Together." Chen nodded, a tired but triumphant smile on her face. "Yes, we did. And this is just the beginning." As they turned their ships towards home, both knew that a new era had dawned. Humans and Zorgans, once strangers, now stood as partners and protectors of the galaxy. The combined human-Zorgan fleet emerged from the dissipating void, battered but victorious. As they approached Earth, the comm channels erupted with cheers and congratulations from every corner of the solar system. The threat that had loomed over the galaxy for so long was finally defeated. On Earth Space Station Alpha, Captain Xar and Commander Chen stood side by side, watching the celebrations unfold on the viewscreens around them. Humans and Zorgans mingled freely, their earlier wariness replaced by genuine camaraderie. "I never thought I'd see anything like this," Tsar said, his antennae twitching with emotion. "Our peoples, united in victory." Chen nodded, a warm smile on her face. "It's more than just a victory over the void. It's the beginning of a new era for both our species." In the days that followed, news of the void's defeat spread across the galaxy. Other alien races, long hidden or isolationist, began to reach out. They had all lived in fear of the void, and the story of how humans and Zorgans had worked together to overcome it inspired hope throughout the cosmos. A month after the battle, a grand ceremony was held on Earth. Representatives from dozens of alien species gathered to celebrate and discuss the future. Sar found himself on a stage beside Commander Chen, addressing the diverse crowd. "When we first discovered the abandoned human ship, we thought we had found a primitive species," Sar began, his words translated for all to hear. "We could not have been more wrong. In humans, we found not just advanced technology, but also courage, creativity, and an unbreakable spirit." Chen stepped forward. "And in the Zorgans, we found loyal allies, brilliant minds, and a perspective that complemented our own perfectly. Together, we achieved what neither of us could have done alone." The crowd cheered, a cacophony of different sounds from various species all blending into a harmony of joy and hope. As the ceremony concluded, a new intergalactic alliance was formed. Earth and the Zorgan homeworld were named as founding members, with an open invitation for other species to join. The alliance's purpose was not just mutual defense, but also cultural exchange, scientific cooperation, and peaceful exploration of the galaxy. In the years that followed, the partnership between humans and Zorgans flourished. Zar's crew, once mere explorers, became ambassadors of their people. They traveled the galaxy alongside their human friends, making new discoveries and forging new friendships. Vex, the Zorgan engineer, worked with human scientists to develop new technologies that combined the best of both species. Their advancements in space travel and energy production ushered in an age of prosperity for Alliance worlds. Zell, the young navigator, became a teacher, sharing Zorgan knowledge with eager human students while learning Earth's history and culture in return. Her classes became some of the most popular in the newly established intergalactic university. Even Dr. Martinez found new purpose. His research into the void's nature, combined with Zorgan biological expertise, led to breakthroughs in understanding the very fabric of the universe. 5 years after their first encounter, Sar stood with Commander Chen, now Admiral Chen, on the observation deck of a new ship. It was the first of its kind, a true blend of human and Zorgan engineering, crewed by members of both species. "She's beautiful," Sar said, admiring the sleek lines and advanced technology of the vessel. Chen nodded. "And she's just the beginning. With this ship, we'll be able to explore further than ever before, meet new species, face new challenges." Sar turned to his friend, his 4 eyes shining with excitement. Who would have thought that a lost ship would lead to all of this? Chen laughed. It just goes to show, you should never judge a species by their old technology. As they watched the stars stretch into streaks of light, the ship entering its first wormhole jump, both leaders felt a sense of profound gratitude. What had started as a chance encounter had blossomed into a friendship that changed the course of galactic history. The ship's name, displayed proudly on its hull, summed up the spirit of this new age: unity. It was a testament to what could be achieved when different peoples came together, overcoming their differences to work towards a common goal. As unity soared into the unknown, it carried with it the hopes and dreams of 2 species and the promise of a brighter future for all.